I'll put that video in live stream.
Yeah, but sure. My concern is what he's trying to figure out. We're just looking at a building and a boat, and I want to know what he's trying to figure out. What's to figure out? It's just a building and a boat.
And what is it supposed to be showing?
Are you deaf? Or what?
You said I didn't hear you the first time.
What did I just say?
You said a building and a boat.
Right, that's what it's showing. Your question to me after I stated what it's showing was what's it showing? Now, either you're deranged or deaf. I've told you what it's showing. I'm asking you what you want to investigate. It's just a building and just a boat.
But you're making a point that you should not be.
Nathan, I posted that picture in Master B if you want.
Well, I got the picture up on screen now. Is that the one you wanted?
Yeah, perfect. Paul's done it as well, so the audience has got the one specific picture we're talking about. Hopefully Ranty will pipe up at some point, because he'll give us a bit more data on this specific picture. I just want to know what you want to figure out.
Oh, thanks for the video there. Okay. And how far into the video is that picture?
Oh my.
Just watch it. Just answer my question first, though, Zanick. What are you trying to figure out? Given that it's just a building and just a boat that we just see, what is it that you want to figure out exactly?
I want to figure out what you were using the picture or the example for.
To show that you can see them. I've just said that. I've said it's the third. Are you deaf? We see a boat. We see a building.
So you can see them. That makes no sense.
Say that again.
Hold on a second. Somewhere around the 3123 mark. Sorry for that interruption. No 3123, right around there.
You got it.
I still haven't got an answer to my question. What are you trying to figure out, Zanick?
I'm trying to figure out why you use that picture as an example and for what.
That the Earth is obviously and observably flat, as demonstrated by the picture. There you go, building 18 miles away. What more do you want? It doesn't require any explanation whatsoever. I'm asking you what you want to investigate. That's the question.
So we don't. You said the observer is right on the water, or does it matter to you?
Sorry, you're still not answering my question. What are you trying to investigate? What are you trying to figure out? And now you're just talking over me.
Yeah, it's 1 foot elevation, shore to shore. Don't worry about the buildings. You can see the beach.
I really don't see a beach. I see miraging in the bottom left of that area.
Bottom left. There is no miraging here. The beach is right in front of you. Can't you? Oh, you can't see my mouth. Right where the water. Look at the water where it meets the land. That land part is the beach.
You can literally see the foam of the water where it meets the beach.
Anyway, what is it that you wanted to figure out,
seeing those
Zanick?
buildings at the bottom being miraged, but okay.
All we're doing is detailing what's in a picture. I don't understand it. What is the point of this? That's what I'm trying to establish over and over again, and we just detail bits of the picture over and over again.
Yep, go ahead, Nathan.
That's a great picture.
What are you trying to figure out, Zanick?
Looking at it, it looks like the bottom, you know.
The bottom, you know. No, I don't.
I don't see that as being beach on the bottom there, in other words.
Oh, well, then you're blind.
I don't see foaming of water.
Well, then you're blind.
What is it then, Zanick?
Sorry,
what is it?
It doesn't answer my question. It doesn't not being able to see something that's in front of your eyes. That doesn't answer my question. What are you trying to listen again?
Why don't you?
I'm not asking you what you see. Am I? I'm not saying what do you see. Listen, I'm not saying what do you see. That's the answer you've given. Wrong answer, because that's not what I asked. What are you trying to figure out?
On this picture, I'm looking at the bottom of the buildings. They look to be miraged, inferior mirage.
Ding, ding,
I
ding,
don't
ding,
see
ding.
beach. I see them missing.
So what
I
about
see-
it are you trying to figure out? You're describing something. What is it you're figuring out?
I've said it about 16 times. Yeah, you keep
How much
going
is
to what
missing
you
by a
see, Zanick, rather than answering me.
I'm trying to figure out if this picture is showing the entire building and the beach, and I don't believe it is.
Even though it's obviously
Oh.
showing the buildings and the beach. Okay, well then you're blind. We've just
No, I don't
established
see
the
a
problem
beach. I
here.
see
No
buildings, and
worries.
they look like they've been cut off at the
I
bottom.
think he's after the
No worries.
concealed-
We've established you're blind. No problem. Go away and get your eyes tested. No problem.
Are you looking at the bottom left where there's a black line up and down, and then there's a little bit of the corner of the building that is a mirror of the thing above it? That looks
What?
like inferior miraging. Does it not? This blue thing you think is a beach is hidden by this, over on the left, hidden by a part of the building that's been miraged. There's miraging going on there.
Right.
You're
Sorry,
getting closer.
Sorry, that's a statement. I don't know how many times I've got to ask the same bloody question. Did you not understand the question, Zanick? Do you think I need you to repeat what you're looking at in a picture 15 times when I ask you what you're trying to figure out? Are you dumb? Don't sigh. Do you want me to repeat the question again, Zanick? Because it seems ever more increasingly obvious that you're stupid, or you don't have any comprehension skills of a simple question being asked of you.
Look,
Or he's being dishonest.
I have no point.
no, I'm not being. I've seen a lot of pictures like this, and a lot of them have a lot of miraging. Don't really show reality.
There's no miraging in this picture.
Just
I
back
see
to what he
some on the
sees
left.
again. I'm not arguing about that. Excuse me.
Right,
Doesn't have
right. I
Excuse
know
me.
you're not. I know you're not. But
I know-
there is no miraging.
Yeah, I realise that, but I don't want to argue about that. I don't want to continually have him detail what he sees when I ask him what he's trying to figure out. What are you trying to figure out, Zanick?
I'm trying to figure out whether it's flat to those buildings, whether there's no curve to the building. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Whether or not there's any curve. Why would you want to assert your religious fundamentalist belief about Earth curve when we can just see them? What's
I
it
just
got to
said
do with your
it's
fundamentalist
flat.
belief?
Trying to affirm which you
So-
were trying to affirm.
What you're
That
saying
it's
is,
flat to those
what
buildings.
you're saying is, you're trying.
I see miraging there. It's not clear enough for me.
Yeah,
to make
you're back to telling me what you see over the top of my rebuttal. You've given me what I want. You want to see if there's any Earth curve there.
Do we have a picture of those buildings that is closer up at the shore there at all?
That's a new question. I'm just trying to clarify what you very tentatively declared. That would be your fundamentalist belief that you're about to insert into this picture. So, are you going to confirm that you're trying to figure out whether or not it comports to your fundamentalist belief? You're going to confirm that? Or are we going to go back to what we see as you interrupt me when I make the conclusion? Because there's a mute button being used by globeheads at the moment, Zanick. You've got a hold of that mute button too, haven't you? When I make my conclusion, that's not time for you to speak. My conclusion being that what you want to figure out is whether it comports to your fundamentalist belief in Earth curve. That's what you want to figure out, isn't it, Zanick?
No, it's not actually.
That's what you
I'm
just
trying to
told
figure
us.
out whether-
That's what you just told us.
My turn.
So that's
My
what you
turn.
just told us. So why did you tell us that you were looking for Earth curve then, Zanick?
I was looking to determine whether it is flat or curved to those.
Yeah,
objects.
yeah, that's what I just said, isn't it? Yeah. You were looking to figure out whether or not it's not obviously and observably flat, but whether or not it comports to your fundamentalist religious belief in Earth curve. That's correct, Zanick. Yes, thank you for confirming what took so very long to drag out of you.
That's not correct. I'm looking to determine whether it is or not.
Whether it is or not what? Your fundy belief in Earth curve, mate. Yeah, we know, Zanick. We've got the confirmation from you. It's okay, son. Sit back down, take a breath. Yeah, laughing up, Fundy. Yeah, you want to figure out whether or not it comports to your fundamentalist religious belief in Earth curve? Ask Dean.
Yeah. Let's get a
Now,
close-up picture of those
after he's
buildings.
done with this, can we get back to his proof? I didn't want to lose that point.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead, John.
Are we finished
Oh,
with this?
he answered his, he has a master. So, I guess he's saying that whatever he says goes.
No, I didn't. You have to pay attention. I said I have a citation from someone who has a master's in physics. Does that
And
suffice?
the reference, go ahead and post the reference in the live stream and I'll pull it up for everyone to see. And then you could show us where it states that gravity is not a force, but it causes a force. And then we're going to have to see a demonstration of that supporting citation.
This is excellent. This is really good day. I'm so chuffed.
Aren't you guys excited? We are gonna finally see that evidence of gravity.
Look, I had a couple things come up in my professional life that precluded me from doing all the research I wanted to do last night and this morning, so that's why I missed the show. So I would like to have an extension till tomorrow for the actual.
That's all right. Fine. You okay with that?
That's
John?
fine.
Tomorrow
Yeah, no worries.
That's fine. It'll have to be next week because tomorrow there is no show, so it'll have to be Monday or Tuesday.
I'll do it Monday or Tuesday, and I'll do one that I think is the best that I can find from people that are credible and maybe known.
There's no
Or
pressure.
maybe even interview someone that is I can interview live and give you and have them write something for me. But this is just something I
All right,
stumbled
that's
upon.
fine. That's fine. You're good.
Okay, not my final answer. And
Yeah,
Nathan, by the
that's
way,
good.
I do appreciate that picture, and I think it looks. If that's 18 miles away and there's nothing's hidden at the bottom, that proved to me that it's flat. If there's no miraging or refraction, so just let you know that I like looking at evidence.
Oh, there's loads of it. It runs past on the stream daily. I just don't highlight it like I explained to Anon.
But this one is, in my humble opinion, it's the best of the best. And too bad Ranty's not here, because I do think he has other photos from higher elevation of the same island, and he identifies a rock on that island that you can see not in that picture that I had up. Hold on, wait 1 second. Am I still sharing?
You are, yeah.
Not in that picture, Zanick, but in this one, there is a rock now. I can't see. That's why we need Ranty. But in this picture right here, I'll have to send you this picture. You could clearly see the beach in this one. It's just the right-hand side of the same picture.
Can I get the location of that place? What is it called again?
Barrow-in-Furness.
Spell that, please.
Yeah, good luck.
I think it's B-A-R-R-O-W.
B-A?
B-A, Barrow. B-A-R-R-O-W.
Borrow. Borrow what? Just borrow.
And then I think
There's the second. I'm sorry. There's the second picture that I was talking about. But go ahead, Nathan.
And then I think it's
the rock on the right-hand side.
I-N-V-E-R-N-E-S-S. I think. I'll look it up. Give me a second. No, I'm wrong. B-A-R-R-O-W hyphen I-N hyphen F-U-R-N-E-S-S.
F-U-R-N-S-S?
Yep.
E-S-S.
Borrow and firm.
That's the one.
And then we have a picture, the Toronto picture that's pretty famous as well. I think Isaac.
We're seeing that Toronto picture. Do you want me to double click on this and you can talk us? Here, let me open the original. Am I still sharing?
You are, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead, Zanick?
Okay, so if I get the quote up there. I put it in the wrong. I pasted it someplace that I shouldn't have. But now it's on the Discord, and then I have your picture that you show of the buildings and something to the right that could be rocks or something. That might be what you're referring to.
Yeah, there's a big boulder on the beach that he shows in another picture. Like I said, if Ranty was here, I'd rather have him explain it because he did the photo or the photos. So we're off of that
Ranty's
now.
here.
Now we're on the photo that was posted in Discord that you alluded to. It's from Olcott, New York to Toronto, 39 miles of the CN Tower. That's up for everyone to see.
Correct.
Now, did you want to address this?
Well, I didn't post it. I've seen it before. It looks like that tower because I've seen the comparative pictures of the tower. Like I'll post it my own picture of that, and it looks like there's a lot of that building that's hidden, and there's no inferior miraging, refraction that you can really detect. That's obvious. So
do you have a refractometer in your eyes or in the camera?
You can add a refraction value as much as high as you would like, and we can see if that comports with reality here.
A refraction value as high as we like.
Okay.
10%, 15%. I mean, give me a number. What do you think has been refracted?
I'm going to do that arbitrarily then. There's how many feet do you say is missing? Hello?
They say 600 feet.
603 feet, right? That's caused by sinking.
It's sinking?
Yes, it's a refractive effect. Have you never heard of sinking?
Yes.
Oh, that's the cause. Sinking. Arbitrarily applied by me.
So 30% has been deflected.
Yeah, due to sinking, a refractive effect.
Okay.
Arbitrarily applied.
It's a fair answer. The question is whether that's...
So, sorry, given that there's the amount that I have arbitrarily applied to sinking, this is a flat earth proof. Refraction accounts for... Refraction's accounting for the sinking. That's a refractive effect, isn't it?
All we would need to do at this point, as we referred to in our last discussions, is we can get that tower, figure out what we're seeing, get an angular size, and see if it actually triangulates out to this observer's position.
Not really. I've just accounted for it with sinking. Did you not hear me give that rebuttal? I arbitrarily...
Zanick, do you understand what's going on?
Guys, hold on. I arbitrarily applied refraction.
That's fine.
Really? Even though I arbitrarily did it without any measurement whatsoever, I just decided that sinking suited my narrative and then applied it arbitrarily. That's okay, is it?
That's fine. I have something I can rebut to that. So here's my point.
You think it's acceptable? I just want to get clarity. Me arbitrarily applying refraction, in this case sinking, you think my arbitrary application of sinking is acceptable and accepted at this stage, correct?
I didn't say that. I said I gave you latitude, and you gave me that maximum latitude, and that's fine. I don't need that.
I didn't mention latitude. I didn't mention any latitude. What are you talking about? I didn't mention latitude once. I said
no latitude as far as like slack.
So I didn't say
cushion,
that. I didn't say that.
Fudge factor.
I didn't say that. I said sinking.
Error.
I said refraction. No, you're denying refraction now.
No, not at all. I guarantee there is refraction.
So problem solved. It's accepted then. So it's accepted. So is it accepted or not? My arbitrary application of refraction, in this case sinking. Is that accepted or not?
By whom?
You! Moron.
I accept you can... I gave you the latitude.
You gave me... Oh, I see. You gave me the latitude. What you mean is you don't accept it.
I don't need to... it doesn't matter. When I tell you the next statement, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
We come into terms whether or not you accept an arbitrary application of sinking or not. Now, I don't want any latitude. I either want you to...
I accept it from you. I don't accept it as fact.
Oh, really? That's interesting. You don't... Can I get a full explanation? So you don't accept an arbitrary application of refraction, correct?
I do not accept an arbitrary value of refraction, no.
Really?
But I do accept refraction.
Given that's the case, can I ask you a question? Why would you suppose there is an arbitrary application of refraction used in your begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking, curve calculations? Why do you think that arbitrary application of 7/6r terrestrial refraction, why would that be accepted then if you don't accept my arbitrary application of it?
Because they've proved in many cases that to be an average of refraction observations.
That's correct. And in this case, sinking.
Okay. So
Yes,
Can I
we're already in agreement on that regard. I'm asking why, when I apply it arbitrarily, you say it's not acceptable, but when the
'Cause your
globe
value
tards...
is
I hadn't quite
30
finished. I know this is the devastating point. It's time for the mute button, isn't it, Zanick? Yeah? When the devastating point comes. Yeah? That time to mute me? That's a question, my friend. Is it time to mute me when the devastating point comes, Zanick? Because that's what you've just done.
no. it is
Why are you
not.
doing it then? Do you think it's interesting that I get accused of muting people when it seems when I actually point out what's occurring, I continually get muted? Do you think that's interesting, Zanick? So, for the
The point was
record,
valid. I was listening.
yeah, an arbitrary application of refraction is definitely not acceptable, even though it's an arbitrary application of refraction in your globe reification that hijacked perspective. That's the situation. Like always, we're at the position where there's a contradiction. Special pleading is applied for your argument, but not for mine. Isn't that interesting, Zanick?
No, I accepted that and was going to give you an alternative element of evidence, and that would be the height of the tower to the observer and an angle that can be easily measured regardless of refraction. The whole image at 1,800 feet is not refracted, only at the surface area there, not the whole image.
I have another problem. Nathan, am I still sharing?
Yeah, you've been flicking back and forth. It's been brilliant, John.
Yeah, has it?
Yeah.
Zanick, can you please look at the live? Can he see this?
No, it's not. We're recording, not live streaming.
Oh, bummer.
Okay. So, just out of interest, if we were to show you the same sort of observation, i.e. the Rogers Centre from 6 foot above Lake Ontario at 30.84 miles away, without that obstruction, presumably because there's less sinking on that day, arbitrary application again, of course. How would you explain that?
Very easily. All we have to do is get the angular size of that what's left and see if it actually triangulates out for 39 miles. Very simple.
No, you misunderstood my question. If we had a different example without the obstruction caused by an arbitrary application of sinking in this instance, that you've conceded isn't necessarily a reasonable application, why would we have the same but without any claimed obstruction?
I don't even understand what you're asking in that last question.
Yeah, why would we see it without the obstruction?
Why would we see it without the obstruction?
Yeah, when the sinking isn't happening.
Because there's still some left over that curve that we're supposedly seeing.
Oh, it's back to your fundamentalist religious assertion of Earth curve, eh? Oh, right, I just see the Earth being obviously and observably flat with my eyes. See, I can talk about what I see also, Zanick, and I see it's flat. But you need to massage in your fundy belief again. Oh, that's funny.
I see something hidden, and if it's not refraction, then it's due to curve. That's
All right,
simple.
John's just taking the snipping tool to the demolition of your fundamentalist insertion of an Earth curve belief when you see what could be arbitrarily assigned as sinking. But you've obviously got a fundamentalist
Not
religious
the height
belief
of
that
the
needs to
tower.
be asserted.
The height of the tower
And
is
you need to
1,800
rumpus the living crap out of me every time I make that conclusion, don't you, Zanick? It's the mute button again, isn't it? An interruption when I'm making the conclusion. You fundies love your mute button, don't you? Zanick.
I'm letting you talk.
Nothing to talk about, Zanick. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. The only thing we have here ever is a religious fundamentalist insertion of a presupposition used by way of reification fallacy.
Okay. So that particular tower, top,
Hold
or
on a
the
second.
angular size of that tower should be
Is it
a
new perspectives?
half a
Dogs
degree.
barking. New perspective. Carry on, Zanick. Sorry. No, my bad. New perspective, clearly. We need to hear his dog barking. Go ahead, Zanick. Sorry.
Okay. That particular tower from top to bottom should be a half a degree. If we're only seeing a quarter of a degree, it means half is gone. And you already said it could be due to refraction. However, from the horizontal, we should see a quarter. If it's half gone, we should see a quarter of a degree. And I don't, there's no values on this camera. We don't have how it's been set up with level. But that would be substantial evidence on what, if there is a drop or not. That was due to refraction.
You already had a disclaimer. Sorry, you already had a disclaimer at the beginning. You said that if it's not due to refraction. So, sorry, you said not due to refraction. So, how did you rule that out then, my friend? Obviously, we want to get to validating the claim you've made after you ignore the possible cause of refraction. I would like to know why you... I haven't quite finished. There we go again. Mute button time. I'd like to know why you have not discounted this obvious effect of sinking, a refractive effect. How did you discount it? Let me have all the measurements that you took to make sure it wasn't sinking. Go.
Okay, so what's missing is about half the building.
Not what I asked. It's not what I asked. All of the measurements. You said it could be sinking. Well, let's not just rule that out and go straight to your fundy belief, mate. How are you ruling that out?
It could be sinking.
Excuse me, I'm still talking.
But
I'm still talking. I would like all of the measurements taken for you to come to that conclusion that it's not sinking, as you have done. Not just walk straight past it and go to your fundy belief in Earth curve. No, no, no. How did you discount that other cause? You just going to whistle past that, mate, or give me the measurements for all the refractive indexes that you took to ignore that little fact? Yeah? Go. Give me the data.
In nature, we do not see refraction values.
It's not what I asked. It's not what I asked. You disclaimed it could be refraction. Well, no, don't just whistle past it. Show me why it isn't. Give me all the refractive indexes, measurements of the temperature of the water, the air, every foot between you and the observation. I want the data, mate. If you're going to just whistle past this obvious thing you're declaring it could be, yeah? It could be refraction, you say. Well, that could be an explanation that I need you to discount first before we get to your fundy belief, my friend. So give me the measurements that you've taken to discount that.
They're not measurements that I can take. I don't know the day. I don't know the temperature.
Oh, wow. That's not very useful to just rule it out, my friend. Let's not go straight to your fundy belief after you've just ruled this out. Well, why?
Let's go for a walk.
No. Let's go and get the measurements first, my friend, before you start making your fundy belief assertions. Don't just rule this stuff out. You haven't got any measurements to rule it out. Yeah, that's just what I'm still talking, Zanick. Don't mute me, my friend. Don't mute me. That's what fundamentalists do. They whistle past everything that doesn't comport with their belief, and they go straight to their fundamentalist belief. That's what a fundamentalist is. So let's not whistle past the refraction. Let's see you invalidate it with some data. Okay? And until you do, we'll have to just assume you don't know what's causing it, my friend. Yeah? Not just assume you do with your fundy belief and your mute button that you need to use every time this is pointed out to you. The mute button's not going to save you from the fact you've got no data and you've just got your fundamentalist religious assertion and your mute button. Yeah? That's not going to fly here. We need the data, mate.
You need to get the data. I agree. And I'm telling you the two ways we can show this. First,
jolly
that
good.
there's never been a
Have you got it?
derivation of
Have you got it?
50% refraction.
Have you got it?
Number two,
Have you got it? I
there
can
is
use a
half
mute button
of a degree
too.
that is
I've
missing.
got a mute button too. I can rumpus the shit out of you too. Have you got that data? I don't want to
No.
hear anything else until you've got it. Have you got it already? That was only 10 seconds. Have you got it? Or are you going to whistle
No.
past it and go to your fundy belief again?
I don't have the data.
Oh, well, then shut up. I'm not interested in this shit. You're telling me that it could be a refraction, but you're just going to whistle past it and get us to go to your fundy belief about it? No, mate. I'm not interested in your fundamentalist belief about what it is. Let's get some data first. So sod off and get it, or let's stop talking about your fundy belief in it. Okay, Zanick? Not interested in fundamentalist assertions from a zealot. Only data that you haven't got. Yeah, you laugh it
You're
up,
right. I
Fundy.
agree. I'll come back with data.
Yeah, you do that. Like you've come back with a citation backed with data. What is it, 2 days? What is it you said you'd give me?
Let's say I gave you the citation. It's there. Did you see it or not?
You asked us for a do-over or whatever. You asked us to keep it till Monday.
Yeah, but I gave you something to keep you interested until Monday.
No.
when I
We
bring
want
the
you
real,
to... No. We're not going to research
Oh.
it for you. Obviously, we want
I
you
already-
to present... So what you're saying is, here's a reference. Go and look it up yourself. No.
No. I gave you.
Yeah,
I
he
gave you the
posted. Hold on a
citation.
second. He posted something in Discord. Go ahead and share my screen.
Okay. Fine.
I already did.
Yeah, you're on.
So this is Anand Mohan. He's MS Physics. He's an entrepreneur working in the field of education. And you must have sent. Is this a message that you sent him?
Yeah, he sent me a message.
Okay. Originally answered, is gravity a force or an acceleration? Gravity, though thought by many as a force, is not a force in itself, but it is something which induces force on two objects with some mass. What I mean by saying this can be understood with this example. If you push or pull some object, you apply a force on the object, but you are not the force. You are just an agent. Similar is the case with gravity, though there is no problem in the world of physics if instead you consider gravity as a force, as the force, because nobody really cares and it doesn't matter. You're laughing at this? This is a
No,
joke.
just his last sentence was funny because it just doesn't matter really when you think about it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he hasn't supported anything here.
He said
He's
exactly
just
what I
saying
said. Basically.
Said. Do you not understand what support of it? I can declare that you are a chicken and then get John to write down that you're a chicken and publish it. Do you think that means that you're a chicken? You stupid fundamentalist religious zealot. Do you think getting somebody to write something down is actual support of the claim? You stated that gravity, which is not a force, gives rise to a force. And we wanted support of that claim, not a repetition from another fundy.
I didn't write that. He wrote that.
It looks like you were leading him. No one.
I
I've
didn't.
never
That was
seen
a
anything
that was a
like this
random
in my
quote I
life.
just found on his website.
It's on
Random
his
quote.
website.
I mean,
Go ahead, post his.
Let me
go
get
ahead,
back on
post the
Monday.
website.
Hold on. Go ahead and post his website.
Let me give
then.
it. I did not talk to him about this. This is from him. His works, his writings.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, post his website.
It was written in November 15th, 2015. So are you doubting that I'm lying? Did I edit that for you?
No. I'm just saying, post the website. You're correct. That's fine.
Okay. I told you I would. This was just a teaser. We'll get you on Monday. The something that's better that I had more time to prepare.
Fine, I'll calm down. I'm sorry, Zanick. I jumped all over you. You did disclaim that. My bad.
Okay, now let's go to the next subject. I put those two photos together. I don't know how well you can see these guys, man. So this is your photo that you post, not you, but somebody else posted from Olcott, New York to Toronto at 39 miles. I don't know the elevation of this. Whoever posted this picture, can you get the observer's elevation here? Who took the picture for us? Or is it in here? Let me see. No, it doesn't. So on the bottom picture, as you can see, Zanick, this is the picture of a CN tower. It's 30.84 miles away, right? and we can see down to the shoreline of the CN Tower. I don't know how well you can see. You can see it. You could just go ahead and hit the original. It'll pull up.
Yeah, I got the. I contend that there's a lot missing at the bottom, but okay. I mean, definitely you see more for sure.
Yeah,
A lot missing at the bottom.
We just need that data, don't we?
The black line is not the shore there.
It isn't. That's very interesting. What's the elevation for the top picture? The observer's elevation?
You gotta go back and look at the picture that Isaac posted. Where's it at? You see, there's a dome there. There's like there's a stadium. The Ontario. That's Ontario. Is that Ontario? That's Toronto. Is that Toronto? Where?
This is
There's
Toronto.
a stadium there. Yeah, there's a stadium there that's round and has a arc to it. You can see that a lot of it's missing at the bottom, and it's not really clear at all anywhere.
Talking about the square, the white square.
The square, yeah.
Left of the tower.
There's a lot of distortion there. I mean, that's a good picture. I can't really. It doesn't look like.
So
the picture
what you're saying
above
is
that,
there's a bit of distortion underneath it.
posted.
Is that, sorry to interrupt. Are you saying because there's a bit of distortion underneath this white, what you call the dome?
There's distortion. There's some.
Oh right. So there's definitely effects that could be accountable for something like sinking then.
Well, that building has an arc on it. I don't know whether it's taken from a different angle that would not show the arc of the roof.
Sorry.
Plus,
so what you're saying is
the entrance the entrance to that stadium is completely missing. And there's
yes,
about.
I heard you claim the first time. So there's a distortion there. Yes. Definitely doesn't like being led. So there's a distortion there. A visual demonstration of maybe refraction, Zanick?
In that case, no, there's something that would be
put the picture back up again if you would, John. Sorry, so you're saying this distortion is not a refraction effect?
Refraction wouldn't affect the top of the building.
We're talking about the bottom. You seem to have now jumped to a different section. How slippery one would be when we come to this obvious visual effect of... What's that word again? Refraction. Something we hear so much about. That would be a obvious effect of that, would it not? Or, oh, my bad. Maybe I should just let you get straight to your fundy belief that that's Earth curve. Would that help you out, Zanick?
Does refraction let you see more or less?
So we are talking refraction.
Not Earth curve
in this picture.
Not Earth curve then. Yeah, not Earth curve. Just we definitely have something to do with refraction in the picture, do we, Zanick? Or not? That's how it should look with Earth curve.
There's definitely refraction.
Oh right. So you appreciate Zanick? Yes. Just needed that concession, not for you to concede and then immediately get on to your next point, my friend. Yeah. So sinking would be a refractive effect, wouldn't it, Zanick?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, correct. So what do we need to establish whether or not it is or it isn't, Zanick? What do you think we need? Do you think we need an assertion of your fundy belief in Earth curve, or do you think we need that data? What do you think? Do we need a fundy assertion about Earth curve, or do we need some data to decide or figure out, based on data, whether or not it is a refractive effect of sinking? Maybe we should do that before we assert our fundy beliefs.
Hey Nathan, can I make an observation? Maybe
I want Zanick to tell us what we should do, given that they've got a refractive effect and no data. Whether or not we should move on to his fundy belief in Earth curve, or we should gather the data to rule that out, that sinking effect. Waiting, Zanick.
Would the refraction show more of the building or less of the building?
You tell me, what's the data? How much refraction is there? What are the measurements? Give me the information. Have you ruled it out as being looming or sinking? Have you worked out the effect? Or are you just going to whistle past it and assert your religious belief? That's my question.
We need more data.
Ah, not a very useful proof of anything then in that case, because we haven't got enough data on how much refraction we may or may not arbitrarily be applying in our mathematics. Yeah, I'd agree, Zanick. Not really reasonable to arbitrarily apply refraction to make it work with my reification fallacy. We'd need to get more data. We'd need to actually figure out what was going on, wouldn't we, Zanick? So let's not go straight to your fundamentalist religious belief in Earth curve being the cause of anything to do with anything in the distance, and let's go and get a bit more data. Okay, sunshine? Go ahead, Paul.
You can
Sorry,
find
somebody's
someplace
vacuuming in the background, but
30% refraction.
Hold on a
Zanick.
second, Zanick. Paul's turn.
Okay, if you go back to Discord, I think Isaac Newton has been posting a couple pictures. I don't know if you saw that. There's one he posted probably about 12:29, and then he posted another one at 12:29. They're both at 12:29. If you look at that picture, the top picture is looks like it's kind of the bottom of the tower is kind of squashed and spread out slightly from the one that's on the second one down. How would you account for that kind of squashing, spreading out effect that you see in those two pictures?
So you said 11. Hold on a second. You said 11:29 or 12:29?
12:29. Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull it up for everyone to see. 1 second. Yeah, everyone's seeing it, Paul.
Okay, so at the top picture, you see it looks. There's one picture of the tower, and then the bottom picture has another picture of the tower. If you compare the two pictures, it looks like the top picture is kind of squashed, and the bottom is kind of spread out.
We're only talking about one picture here, Paul.
Oh, I'm comparing the pictures. I'm sorry, I'm comparing the two pictures because if you look at the two pictures, I can't share them the way I'm looking at them, but it looks like the top picture is kind of squashed out compared to the bottom picture, squashed and spread out.
So you got two pictures here from Isaac Newton. Is he alive again? 11:29 and these were back to back. Okay, let me try this one. Okay, we see this one. I have the first picture up, Paul. What's your point?
Well, if you kind of just compare the pictures, it looks like the tower is kind of squashed, and even though I know the proportion might be off a little bit, but it looks like it's squashed and spread out towards the base, towards the bottom, compared to the other picture. You know what I mean? If you look at the way the buildings are, it just looks like it's squashed and distorted slightly at that top picture, and then the bottom one looks like it's kind of normal, like as if you were close to it. I just wonder what would be accounting for that squashing effect that you see, or that spreading out effect.
Yeah, I got the juxtaposition now. Top
you can
picture.
Explain it better. Go ahead, Zanick. How would you explain that?
I'm sorry, I didn't see there was no posted picture, the second one.
They're both posted at 11:29 from Isaac Newton.
I see the one on, I guess it'd be 11:31 for you guys, and that 600 feet is missing below the building, so that's interesting. And then above that, 29.
11:29, 12:29. I don't know if you're on Central Time or not, but I'm on Eastern Time. It's 12:29.
29 or we know the minutes we're talking about, the last 10 minutes or so. So the one at 29 shows the entire building and the entire stadium.
Yes, and there's a picture 2 or 3 posts above that one.
Right, and so it looks like it's really squashed, and half that tower is missing.
Right, you got it.
But then they also show that stadium in front of it, which is interesting. Right?
Just notice how the towers are. Look, if you look at the buildings and compare the buildings and everything around it, that top picture, that first or that 2 posts above, it looks kind of squashed. It looks kind of really almost squashed out. It's compressed or something. You almost have a kind of
looks like
compressing effect.
Half the building's missing, but yet the stadium is still there, and those things are really disproportionate in size.
Focus on the tower, not the building. I'm looking at the tower and the buildings around it.
The tower looks like it's been shortened or cut off at the bottom.
Right.
It looks
exactly.
like the whole building's been shortened.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those adjacent buildings, ones next to them, they don't
Yeah,
Match
don't
up with
worry
the
about the adjacent
close-up
buildings.
picture.
Just look at the tower of those two shots. I'm flicking back and forth between them.
Yeah, the middle sections. Well, it shouldn't be a middle section. It should be at the top third.
Well, look at the building to the side. They're all like really narrow and almost the same width as the tower. Yet when you look at the one on the left there of the upper, the shortening picture, that looks really fat and wide. It looks a lot fatter than the tower.
Yep.
So
How
which
do
is
you account
right?
for that?
Is the bottom one stretched out or the top one squished down? I mean, I don't know. Some kind of lensing issue there.
The top one squished down because this picture right here of showing the stadium, as you call it, and all the buildings, this is real close to the shore, obviously, right? So this is an actual.
more-
I mean, you're real close
Yeah,
here.
Building. I agree with you. I don't know that upper building. The other upper picture does not look right.
Yeah, that upper picture. There's all kind of. As you would call refraction happening. See, what the point is, what Nathan was trying to say is that we're not accounting for any curvature here. This is just a visual thing. That's the point.
You get it. There's a lot of lensing,
Yeah,
atmospheric lensing
right.
going on in this picture, correct?
Right. These are visual things. So not curvature. So there's a lot of things happening besides the curvature that have to be accounted for.
No argument
You
here.
can't just look at this picture from Olcott, New York, Toronto at 39 miles and say, oh, well, the half of these buildings are obscured. The half of the CN Tower is obscured curvature. Can't do that, can you?
Well, you see a lot of distortion for sure, but you also see things that are missing, and those are two different things.
Missing. It's called refraction. It's called sinking. Not curvature, sinking. That's the whole entire point.
Yeah, Tim Osman's got a whole long list of all of the things that could account for the observation you're presenting us with. Things that look like they're cut off at the bottom. And there's a multitude of reasons why that can occur. All of which will be immediately discounted without any investigation or data being presented in favour of your fundamentalist religious belief in Earth curve. Every single time without exception.
And that's why I like using the angles in the very end of everything, because it eliminates refraction.
What do you mean? You think measuring an
What?
angle to something eliminates the atmospheric conditions that you haven't taken any account of and haven't measured? Yeah, that would be because you need to.
Keeping it
Yeah,
above the surface
I hadn't
of the
quite
water.
finished. It's another one of those occasions. I tend to keep quiet for quite long periods, and then when I do talk, you can be damn sure that the mute button will be used on me when I'm talking, right, Zanick? So yeah, so we'll be in a position where all of the accountable, and in this case visually obvious, effects of refraction will be ignored. You will, however, apply the arbitrary 7/6 of the begging the question R value when applicable, or it doesn't comport to your original reification fallacy. In other words, all effects will be ignored without any data ever in favour of your religious assertion of Earth curve.
And how is he going to calculate this? Are you going to use terrestrial refraction to calculate this refraction?
No, I'm going to use just trigonometry to show angles in size.
Angles in size, but we already seen that things are compressed, right? There's distortion. So how are you going to come out with a accurate angle if there's distortion?
Well, because we know that the distortion is not going to be even from top to bottom of that object. And if we have the top of the object in view, that won't be refracted and distorted
How do
anywhere
you?
near.
Whoa! How do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that? Again, we're back to this where you've got no data, but you know something about it, Zanick. In favour of that information that you've just claimed to know, You will be asserting a religious belief in Earth curve, though, won't you, Zanick?
Because we can measure the air density and properties of air at
Oh, we can. Yeah, we
That's
can.
terrestrial refraction, son.
Yeah, we can. But you
but
don't.
they'll change
You
as you
don't.
go up, as the
Sorry,
as the density.
Zanick, it's another one of those occasions, isn't it? You can, but you don't. You apply an arbitrary 7/6R. You could measure it, but you don't measure it. Instead, applying your fundy belief. That's the point.
You're using terrestrial refraction in your calculations. We want to see all your calculations.
I'm not using terrestrial refraction on my
You'll have to.
Angular size. Just angular size of that
You'll have
building.
to.
From
Angular size is not
horizontal.
it's going to tell us anything.
Sure, it'll tell you if that building is as high as it should be or lower than it should be.
Yeah, hold on. That's visually obvious from what's on screen. So what, you're telling me by quantifying it with a number that's going to tell you the cause of it?
Because the refraction effect will not be the same at the top of the building as it would be on the bottom of the building.
How do you know? You've not got a shred of data, you fucking fundy. How many times have we got to say this to you, fundy? Listen up, fundy. Listen up. Listen up, fundy. Listen up, fundy. It's not mute button time. Yeah, fundy. You don't have any of that data. I keep saying it. You're going to whistle past it in favour of your religious assertion of Earth curve. And when we get there, I guarantee you will be applying an arbitrary 7/6R, also known as terrestrial refraction, to your reification fallacy, even though you've got no data. These are facts. You don't have to like it, fundy.
What would be a good proof to you, since if we accept that refraction will change the position of this relative to our...
I don't accept anything. You haven't proven it with data. You keep telling me what I'll accept. How many times? Are you deaf? Data. Not what I'll accept. Who cares what I'll accept? Who am I? I'm not the arbiter of how much refraction there is in the air. Give us the data before you start discounting it in favour of your fundy belief. Simple.
We use lasers. We use optical measurements. They're all going to be off due to refraction.
Wicked.
To you.
Let's have them.
So what?
Let's have them. Let's have them. You presented the Chicago skyline. Show me the fucking lasers we used. Show me it. I don't see no lasers, dipshit.
No, I'm saying lasers would be the...
Oh, what, are you going to tell me they could be?
As well.
Excuse me, where are the lasers for this image you've claimed is Earth curve obstruction? We've got a picture from... where is it from?
Olcott, New York. It's Toronto skyline.
Right. You have immediately discounted all actual measurements, haven't you? Now you're telling me about lasers. I don't... Excuse me, Fundy. Don't mute me. Don't mute me, Fundy. Just because I'm taking apart your religious belief doesn't mean you get to mute me. Yeah? I'm saying where are the lasers... Yeah, you don't get to mute me here. Yeah. Where are the lasers that you said were used to measure refractive indexes to discount the super looming non-standard refraction or sinking? Where are the lasers on your picture?
I'm saying, what evidence would you accept if we can't...
That's not what you said. You said you'd use lasers. You liar. You liar. Lying fundy.
Wait a second. What evidence we would accept? This,
yes, a string tied to the top of that building?
Wait a second. You are actually saying that with this picture that's on screen right now, that these buildings are blocked due to curvature. So what would we expect? That's a cause and effect relationship. So now we need you to validate it.
Okay.
Using the scientific method. That's how we validate cause and effect relationships.
Correct.
So
what
that's
evidence
what you would need to do. That's what we would accept. That's what we would accept.
The cause and effect.
Yeah. That's what we would accept, because you're not going to get anything out of angles because of the distortion and refraction. All kind of things happen in these photos. You even agree.
You would if you had a string. Hold on. If you had a string that went from the tower to you, that would be an angle. That could be proving. That could be proving whether it's sinking or not.
Where's that?
Actually,
where's that? Show me the string.
No, I'm saying what evidence. I mean, is that what I need to do? Tie a string to it?
You're not listening. You're just talking continually when I ask a question, so that hopefully it won't get heard. Where's the string?
We have not used the string yet.
Oh, right. So we could, but we haven't. Was that just a way of... Sorry, me talking again, Zanick. Yeah, I know you need the mute button when you argue with me, don't you, fundies? You need the mute button, don't you, Zanick? So given that there's no string there, your argument for string kind of falls to pieces. What we do definitely have, though, Zanick, is you ignoring all aspects of the conditions and making special pleading arguments and ultimately getting to the stage where you apply your fundamentalist, religious zealot belief about what the cause is. Not verified, not validated, not scientific, just a fundy belief. Your fundy belief, Zanick. Earth curve. Your fundamentalist religious belief.
Who's going to climb up to the top of this CN tower with a string? I want to see that little maneuver.
Don't care. We haven't got it like the lasers that he claimed that we could have but don't have.
No, I didn't say that about lasers. I said the lasers would also be refracted as well. I said, what would you accept?
Oh, they would be. What? Could be in the future but aren't in the examples that you've given. I couldn't give a shit, you stupid fundy. They're not there. There's no lasers, dipshit. So while you could see a laser bending up, we don't. That's not what you've presented, stupid idiot. Maybe go and get your laser pictures so we can have you assert your fundamentalist religious belief about what's causing that.
Can I say something to Zanick about the nature of evidence?
Go ahead.
Zanick, have you ever seen a trial or even a television version of a trial or cross-examination? Have you ever seen those on TV or seen one in real life?
Of course.
Okay. When either defense or the prosecutor or the plaintiff present evidence, there's always cross-examination, correct? Which means I present this evidence. I have somebody says, well, this person did this. Well, I'll present this evidence showing that. Well, the cross-examination goes in and says, well, is this evidence valid or not? So now you ask the question, what kind of evidence would we require? Well, you're presenting evidence, and then where you're cross-examining it, saying this is not evidence. So you're really asking the wrong kind of question. If it's strong evidence, then it should withstand cross-examination. And so far, what you've presented has not withstand the cross-examination.
And with that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned into the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum, which I strongly advise you all join. I've been Nathan Oakley. A massive thank you to all of today's debating panel, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!